Perfect. You can take it away.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I do have my chat box open, so feel free to type in questions as we go through. Thanks for having me today on this gloomy day, even though it's temperature-wise, it feels pretty nice out. Yeah, so we're going to cover some things. If you've been to any of my presentations before, you probably have seen some of this, but it's good reminders. Hopefully, you'll learn a few things to help you out in your business. As we go through, please ask questions. This really is your time. If you want me to go more in detail on something, if I don't cover something, definitely let me know. I'm going to try to be done with everything by probably about 10:45 or so that we do have time for questions, as well as any additional features you want me to cover. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Just give me a second here. All right, can everyone see my Flex MLS screen? All right, perfect. So the thing that I really want to focus on today is a lot of the features that are available to you inside of Quick Search that a lot of people aren't utilizing. That really can help you customize your searches and really do a lot more than people are realizing. So first thing I'm going to do is just go to Quick Search just to kind of show you. As you know, we go into Quick Search, all these fields are kind of collapsed. If you are used to using full search from before, you're used to having all these different field options open for you and easy to see at a glance. I personally don't like coming in here and having to open these fields up. There is an option that we can actually set that'll have all these pre-opened for us when we go in, so we can see everything at a glance. So we're going to cover that. Also, our default map here. I know that you guys are representing 3 different offices right now, and you may not want your default map to open up over the Milwaukee and Waukesha area. You may want to have that zoomed in more or more out in the Pewaukee, Oconomowoc area. So we're going to go through and show you how to customize that default map to open up wherever you want it to open for you. So in order to do those 2 things, we're going to go to Menu, and under Menu, we're going to go down to Preferences. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and click on my default map. And if you're following along and doing this at the same time, your preferences may be in a different area than mine are. Since I have super user status, I have additional features that may move my screen around a little bit. So I'm going to click on default map. And you can see the blue area is where our default map is. For those of you out in your Lake Country office, I'm going to go ahead and just reset my map more around this Oconomowoc, Heartland, Delafield area. So in order to reset my map, on the very bottom of here is our toolbar. The first symbol is our pan map. So it's just our handle. So we can grab, click on our map and just kind of drag our map around. The next option is our zoom in. So I can zoom in on our map just by highlighting that tool and clicking on our map. It's going to take us down 1 step. I also can zoom in or out on the left-hand side here using this little slide bar. And the last thing is our rectangle here. So this is going to allow us to draw our shape. So I'm going to go ahead and select our rectangle. And anytime you're drawing a shape inside of Flex MLS, you're going to go up to your starting point. You're going to left click to put your starting point on. And then you're going to take your finger off of your mouse button. You're going to drag your mouse out to where you want it to be. So if this is the area I want to set as my default map, once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to left click. Tells the system that I'm done drawing. Now in order to save this, I'm going to go ahead in the upper right-hand corner and just click on Save. So now when I go back to Quick Search, you'll see that the default map now is over that area that we just defined. So this is basically time saver number 1, just being able to go directly to that area that I'm primarily working in. Okay, next thing we're going to do is go ahead and open up these fields for us. So I'm going to go back to my menu, go back to my preferences, and I'm going to go down to general preferences. So within general preferences, this box at the very top, settings affecting search results. The last option on here is expand all fields for quick searches. I'm just going to put a little checkbox in there, scroll down to the bottom of my preferences and click on Save. So now that that's saved, once I click on my quick search, you'll see that now all these fields are open for me. Again, that's just a preference that I like to have on to be able to see everything at a glance. Some of my coworkers at the MLS here prefer to have them closed. So again, it's just a personal preference. I just personally find it easier. Okay. The other thing I want to clarify when it comes to Flex MLS, this quick search option, is up here where it says single family, and then down here where it has property types. Anything up here, these are search templates. So basically, these are the main criteria for the different property types, but I can search on any property type using any of these search templates. So let's say I wanted vacant land and I wanted to just use the vacant land search template. I can just use my drop down here for change search template, go to vacant land, and now it changed all of my main fields here to just those that are representative of those vacant land fields. It's important to keep in mind that if you have this vacant land template open and you are searching for single family and you're trying to find bedrooms and bathrooms, those are not going to be there for you since vacant land does not contain bedrooms and bathroom options. So just be mindful of that. I'm going to go back to my single family search template here. In a little while too, we're going to go in and actually create customized templates. So if you have a certain niche that you typically do, for those of you on the Lake Country area, you probably want to have a template that maybe already includes all the different lake features and options for you. You can go ahead and create those templates to reuse over and over again. Again, it's a nice time saver. So anything in this menu tree here, these are going to be all of our, basically what was the equivalent of the main fields tab inside of the full search option. The important thing to keep in mind when it comes to searching for those properties that are just active without active with offer is two things. We're going to use this contingent field here. I recommend going, if you're doing this, clicking on the with offer, and it'll automatically check it here for you. Sometimes if you check this box and then click on the with offer, it causes an error in the system and it won't remove those active with offer properties for you from your search results. So again, I recommend just clicking on the with offer, it'll automatically check the box for you. The other important thing to remember is the default says contingent of with offer. For those of you who are grammar people, that's horrible as it is, contingent of with offer. But in order to remove those active with offer properties from your search results, you need to click on the word of and change it to not of with offer. At that point, it will remove those active with offers from your search criteria. The other thing I'd like to point out is when you're going through and adding in statuses, I'm just gonna go ahead and click on sold. And right below that is see all and select date ranges. So if I'm looking for off-market properties, so pending, sold, or expired, I can select those statuses. But it also gives me the option of using these double arrows here that I can change it from just how many days back I want to look. So I like using these if I'm doing like a CMA and I only want sold data for the last, let's say 30 days. Instead of having to go in and change the calendar, I can use my arrows, set this to my days, and just go ahead and just put it in my last 30 days. It'll only look at the last 30 days of options for me. Or if I want to go ahead and use that date range, I actually can use those double arrows and it'll toggle between the actual date range and then how many days back I want to go. Okay. When it comes to utilizing the counties and municipalities, I can go ahead and just start typing in what I'm looking for. So if I'm looking for Ozaki County, I can just start typing in Ozaki and it narrows it down for me. So I can go ahead and just keep typing in what I'm looking for and it'll keep bringing up those options. I can keep just clicking to add them onto my search results. I also can click on the see all. Once I click on see all, it's going to open up every county for me in the state of Wisconsin. So all 72 counties are available for me to search in. And I could go ahead and just select in the counties that I wanted to. When I was happy with those, I can select finished and it's going to add those counties for me. Keep in mind that once I have counties selected, if I click on the see all for municipality, it's going to narrow it down to just those municipalities within those counties that I have selected. So these are the only options I have available for me. So I can select whatever municipalities I wanted to, click on finished, and it would add those for me. Let's say I just wanted to add in Grafton. Since I know what municipality I want, I don't have to go in and select a county first. I literally could just go ahead and just type in the word Grafton and select Grafton for my municipality. At the very bottom here of our toolbar, we have this add a field to the search. So this is where I can go to add any additional criteria to my search I want. So if I click in here without typing anything, it brings up every option for me and it has them grouped by category. So if I wanted to, I could just go through and scroll through and grab what I want. or I can start typing what I'm looking for. So there may be fields that you normally aren't utilizing that you maybe want to search on. So I'm just going to use hobby farm as an example. I'm just going to start typing in hobby. And you see, as I type in the word hobby, it narrows it down for me with these criteria. I can go ahead and select an individual criteria just by clicking on it. Or if I wanted to incorporate this entire block, I can go ahead and type it, click on wherever I have these green plus signs, and it adds that entire criteria to my search for me. So that allows me to quickly add fields to my search. I'm gonna go ahead and click on quick search just to kind of clear out everything that I've added in there so far. So we had talked about utilizing these templates up here as a nice way to kind of speed things up. So if I use my drop down here, you can see I've anything with this 0 with a number in front of it, those are templates that we as the MLS have created for you. Anything below that that does not have a number associated with it, these are templates that you as the individual agent, or they may also have been created by your office account. So these are all the different templates I have available for myself to use. So if I want to go ahead and set templates up, I'm just going to go to menu, go back to my preferences, and within preferences, I'm going to go to my quick searches. So from here, you'll see again, the ones with the numbers associated with them are ones that we have created as the MLS. They also have the word inherited after them. You may have some other templates like this property search one that has the word inherited after it. That means that one was created by my office account. So from here, I can go ahead and edit an existing one, create a new one, remove a template, or if I wanted to actually share one of these templates with someone in my office, I could select the template, click on give to someone, and then select who I want to give it to. Okay. So in order to create a template, we're just going to click on the new, and we're going to give it a name. So we'll just call this KW test template. I'm going to go ahead and select my property type. So if I want access to my single family options, I'm going to go ahead and select my single family here. And then for my default view, I'm just going to leave it as full listing view. From here, I'm just going to click on next. So under available fields, these are all of the options available to me as single family criteria. So I can go ahead and select them one at a time. So if I just want to add a bedroom, I can highlight it, click on add. I can select multiple pieces at a time. So if I am a Mac user, I'm going to hold down my control key. If I'm a PC user, I'm going to hold down I'm a Mac user, I'm holding on my command key. If I'm a Mac user or PC user, I'm going to hold on my control key. Got a little confused there. So if I want to select multiples, I can go ahead and select the first one, go down to my next criteria, hold down my key, and just select my way through. So I can add these as a batch just by clicking add. You'll see it moves them over to the right-hand side for me. I also can just search in here for what I'm looking for. So the example I gave earlier, especially for those folks who are working around water properties, I can just type in the word water, and it brings up all the water features for me. So again, I can go ahead and select all of my different water options here for me. So I have those at my fingertips when I'm doing my searches. Click on add. If you're creating these templates, the important thing to always include is the word status. If you don't include the word status in your search, it's going to automatically pull in every single status from the beginning of time for you. So always add the word status. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. I'm just going to go ahead and add in a few more things. So we'll just add in estimated acreage, total square footage, say taxes. So now I've got a list of all of my criteria that's going to be crash printed into this KW test template for me. If I'm trying to organize this, I can actually go ahead and add in section headers for myself. Keep in mind that when you add in section headers, these are not going to appear on your actual template when it's done. These section headers are just there to help you organize your template. So I'm going to go ahead and just add in a water header. So go ahead and add that. And you'll see that now that I added in that header, it offsets it to the left a little bit here for me. So if I click on water, that header, I can use these tools here to move it up, move it down, or remove it altogether. But if I'm using this to organize, I'm just going to move it up to the start of my water. So now I can make sure that anything that is a water criteria is gonna be listed under my water. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just move my status up. You get the idea. I can go ahead and customize this order however I want this to appear on my template. When I'm happy with this template the way it is, I can go ahead and click on save. And now when I go back to quick search, I can use my drop down here to go to my KEW test template. And you'll see it's got all of my water features that we added. It's got our status, body of water, all that information that I can go ahead and easily access that information. Okay, the next part is my favorite thing inside of quick search, and that's actually utilizing these drawing tools. These drawing tools can really help you narrow down your search, especially if you're searching for something specific, like a certain neighborhood or in certain area, and you're relying heavily, if you don't utilize these shapes, on the agent to enter in that information correctly. So it's possible that either they left it blank, they misspelled something. My favorite example actually is Bayview. So if you look at Bayview, I'm going to go ahead and just switch this to my single family template. So if you're not familiar with Bayview, Bayview basically is down in this area here. No, I'm sorry, Bayview is in this area here. Bayview is a postal municipality, but it's not a taxi municipality. So if I were to try to search for Bayview using municipality here, I'm not going to get any results for Bayview since these are all taxi municipalities. I could go ahead and add in the postal municipality and search that way. But you'll see if I do a postal municipality and I search for Bayview, I get 0 results because all the agents who are taking listings in Bayview, instead of selecting Bayview as their area in order to do for their postal municipality, they're just utilizing Milwaukee, which technically is correct because Bayview is serviced by both Milwaukee and Bayview's post offices. But I can actually go ahead and draw an area around Bayview and utilize that as my physical location. So regardless if the agent put it in as Bayview or as Milwaukee, I'm going to be able to get all of my results from that area. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab a clean map just so I can make sure I get rid of that postal municipality of Bayview. I'm going to zoom out a little bit just so you can see my larger portion of my map. A really helpful thing that's embedded automatically into the system for you is in this upper right-hand corner where it says overlays. So if I click on overlays, anything under MLS, these are overlays that will kind of give you an idea of those different areas. They're not utilized for actually doing your search, but they allow you to trace out those areas. So there's 2 that are really, really useful. First is neighborhood map onyx. I'm gonna go ahead and select that one. I'm gonna zoom down a little bit to Milwaukee here. And you'll see anything in these gray boxes, these are different neighborhoods in Milwaukee. And you'll see that some of the outskirt areas have some as well. But as I zoom down, you'll start to see that we do actually have these different areas highlighted here for us. So anything within this white line around Bayview, that's where I'm going to want to draw my shape when I'm actually doing a search for Bayview. Another template that's really useful, I'm going to go ahead and just click off my neighborhoods real quick, is the Subdivision Map Onyx. I'm going to go ahead and click on Subdivision Map Onyx, and that seems to work a little bit better actually out to the west. And as I zoom down, you'll start to see these neighborhoods as well. So if I have someone that is looking for a property in Bristol Cones Pines, and I'm doing my search and I put that in for my neighborhood information, I may not get any results, but I can actually go ahead and use my drawing tools, which we'll go through next, to actually draw out my shape around and just look at that for my actual search area. But we're gonna go back to Bayview just so I can show you that we had that 0 results when we actually looked at the post municipality of Bayview. And let's go ahead and draw that shape out. The nice thing about drawing these shapes out is I can go ahead and save these shapes for later use. And I can create a file with as many different pieces to it as possible. So I'm going to go ahead back up to my overlays and click back on this neighborhood map onyx. So there's all these different pieces to this Milwaukee area. So if I just wanted Bayview for now, I could go ahead and draw my Bayview shape in, save it as a file for Milwaukee. And then as I needed more Milwaukee neighborhoods, I could go ahead and draw those different neighborhoods in and keep adding it to that file to keep building that file up in size. So if I were to save Bayview as its own file, and I were to save 6 points as its own file, I can only select one file at a time to use. So if I'm trying to search on using multiple pieces, it's not going to allow me to. However, if I have them saved to my Milwaukee area neighborhoods file, I can select as many different individual pieces from that file as I need to. So we're just going to go ahead and draw Bayview. So along our bottom toolbar here, earlier we talked about the hand, which allows you to click and hold to move your map around, the zoom in feature. And then when we were doing our default map, we had the rectangle shape. So there's a few things that have been added since we're in the full quick search now. One is a circle. That's going to allow us to draw a circle. The one I find most useful is this polygon. This allows us to draw whatever free range tool or freeform tool we want to. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. I'm going to go to my starting point. Again, I'm just going to trace around these white lines around Bayview. Again, I'm going to click my starting point, taking my finger off my mouse button and dragging my mouse to my next spot, clicking anytime I want to add a spot to my map. The important thing to remember when you're drawing a shape out, never, just like in Ghostbusters, don't ever cross the streams. If you cross over your own shape and tell the system that you're done, you'll get this error message at the top. And it can be frustrating, especially if you've done a more intricate shape, because it will make you start over and draw a new shape out. So always be careful not to cross over your own line. Even if it's just a little bit, the system will yell at you and make you restart. So again, I'm just going to click anytime I want to add a spot to my map and then take my finger off of my shape or off my mouse button until I'm to my next location. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep clicking my way around. I'm going to go ahead and screw my shape up here so I can show you all how to correct that. So when I'm done drawing my polygon, I'm going to double left click to tell the system that I'm done. You'll notice on the left-hand side here, it says shapes, and then it has my polygon listed. And if I hover over the word polygon, it highlights it in yellow for me. That way, if I've drawn multiple shapes on my map, it allows me to easily see which shape that is referring to. Because if I were to draw a shape and I didn't want it anymore, to the left-hand side here, have this little X that says remove this location. I could click on that and it would remove it from my map. So right now you see I've got 30 results, and I did go over my line here. So there's 5 results that are outside of Bayview. But again, if I were to working with a customer that was looking for Bayview and I did post the municipality of Bayview, I'd get no results. However, we do know from actually drawing out our area that there are 25 properties once we fix this line that actually match properties in Bayview. So I'm gonna go ahead and left click inside of my shape that I drew out to make this little box pop up. So in this box, I'm gonna click on edit, and I'm gonna give it a name. That way, instead of just having polygon, I can, when I reuse this, I know what that shape actually is. So I'm gonna call this Bayview. I use this example a lot, so I'm just gonna call it Bayview 15. If I wanted to, I could change the color of it. So I'm just gonna make it yellow. So within this box, I'm gonna click on edit shape. You'll see that now around my shape, I've got all these little orange dots. I'm just gonna click on one of those orange dots and hold my mouse button down and drag that orange dot to where I want it to be on my actual shape. Once I'm happy with that, bottom right-hand corner, leave edit shape mode. So now you'll see that since I adjusted that shape, I've got my 25 results. So we're gonna go through and add a couple more of these shapes in. I'm gonna go over to the left-hand side here just because I've done a lot of this already. That way I can show you how to save these shapes and then go ahead and reuse them later on. So let's go ahead and let's just trace out a couple more of these. I'm gonna pick some simpler shapes just so we can get through those easier. So we're gonna go ahead and do Conrad Gardens here. Again, I'm gonna use my polygon tool, look at my first spot, taking my finger off my mouse button, dragging my mouse to my next location, click, taking my finger off, dragging it, click, and just keep clicking around my shape. And when I'm done, I'm gonna double left click to tell the system that I'm done. And I'll notice on the left-hand side, since we renamed that Bayview shape, Bayview 15, it has the actual name here versus just polygon. And then since this is Conrad Gardens, I'm gonna want to go ahead and change that as well. So I'm gonna left click in Conrad Gardens, click on edit, and change the name. Conrad Gardens, and we'll make that this blue color. I'm gonna go ahead and do one more shape. And let's just do White Manor. It's relatively a rectangle. Then I'm going to grab my polygon tool, click on my starting point, take my finger off my mouse button, and clicking my way around the shape. Again, when I'm done, double left click, tell the system that I'm done. And a single left click inside White Manor. Click on Edit. White Manor. So now that I have my shapes drawn out, and let's say these actually were areas that my customers wanted to be in, I could go ahead and click on Save, set up that subscription email for them, and it's only going to send them properties that match their criteria within those areas that we've drawn out. So it's only going to send them areas within these physical boundaries that we have set. So let's say I want to go ahead and save these shapes for later use. I'm going to go ahead within this box and click on Save to Map Overlay. So I've got two options right at the start here. I can save it as a brand new overlay, or I can add these to an existing overlay. So again, if I wanted to add these in to an overlay I've already begun, I'm going to go ahead and add to an existing overlay. And these are all the overlays that I've already created. So I'm going to go ahead and go down to my Milwaukee area neighborhoods one. And you'll notice under polygons, only White Manor currently has a checkbox in it. That's because that's the one I clicked in to do the save. So let's say I wanted to add in and save Conrad Gardens as well. I'm going to go ahead and put a checkbox in there. I'm not going to select my Bayview 15 to save as part of this overlay, just because I know I already have Bayview saved into my existing overlay. So from there, I'm just going to click on Save. You'll see overlay has been saved. So now we're going to go in and actually reutilize these overlays. I'm just going to click on my quick search just to get a new map here. So anytime I want to use these overlays, I'm going to go to where it has this MLS number, address, or map overlay option. And just to the right of that, it has Browse. I'm going to click on Browse. And these are all the map overlays that I've created for myself. Okay. I'm going to go to my Milwaukee area neighborhoods. And this displays a little funny for me. You'll notice if I actually just go to Milwaukee neighborhoods 2, it puts my options over here. But since the file is so big with my Milwaukee area neighborhoods that I've created, it puts everything on the bottom here for me. So let's go ahead and actually utilize a different one just so that we can see a few options here. So I'm just going to utilize my Keller Williams test area. So let's say I wanted to go ahead and add Bayview. I can go ahead and select Bayview and hit enter. And you'll see it automatically adds that Keller Williams test area, which was that file name. And then Bayview was that piece that I grabbed from it. So I could select as many pieces from that file as I wanted to and utilize those to actually do my search. So that's how you go in and reutilize those overlays. A couple of more options in the bottom here. Let me go ahead and scroll down. So once I scroll down to where I actually can see a property on my map, we do have this blue circle with the white eye. This is parcel information. So if I select that and then single left click on a property, it's going to give me the lot dimensions of a property. It's going to give me this pop-up box with the address, the tax key number, a link to Monsoon, the acres if it's available, and it's also going to give us any previous listing history for that property. So at a glance, I can see what's happening with this property. Okay. The other thing I really like about utilizing these different search tools on our bottom here, go ahead and just grab a clean map, is in the bottom right-hand corner here. There's this red stick pin. This is our locate address option. This is utilizing tax information, not information that was previous listings. So I can pretty much find any property in the state of Wisconsin by using this locate address. So I'm going to go ahead and select locate address, and I'm going to select a property. I'm just going to use my office here, 11430 West North Avenue, and click on locate. So it's going to put the stick pin right on top of our subject property for me. As I zoom in, you'll see that it's right on top of our building here. Within this box, I can actually do a radius search. So I find this really useful if you're trying to do a CMA and you want to find properties as close to your subject property as possible. Obviously, I would go in and add in my additional criteria, but then I can just click on radius search. The default is 1 mile. I'm just going to click on create radius. So right now I just have a radius of 1 mile around our subject property and just active as our status. Obviously, if I was doing a CMA, I'd want to include sold, expired, withdrawn, pending, those types of properties. But I can see within that 1 mile radius, I currently have 13 active properties around our subject property. Let's say I get those results and it's maybe too many or it's not enough. I can go ahead and click on that stick pin again, to bring this pop-up box back, and I can create another radius. I can do as many of these radiuses as I want. So let's just see what 2 miles looks like. So I'm going to change it to 2 miles and create radius. Let me zoom out just so you can see that. So now I've got 68 active properties within a 2 mile radius of our subject property. Let's say I was happy with, with that 1 mile radius after looking at the 2 mile radius. Again, if I hover over those different shape options here on the left-hand side, it highlights them in yellow for me. So if I want to get rid of that 2 mile radius, I can go ahead, just use that little remove this location to the left-hand side, and it's going to remove that other circle for me. Okay. Another way I really like utilizing these stick pins is if you're looking for properties within certain distances of multiple locations. You may be working with someone in the healthcare industry that may have multiple clinics that they service or hospitals that they service, and they want to be within a certain distance of both of those locations. This is actually a situation that I've come across a decent amount in working with agents. So basically we're going to do what we just did. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of my radiuses for now. I'm going to go back to my stick pin. And let's say that this is one of our clinics or hospitals, and they want to be within 5 miles of that location. I'm going to go ahead and just put that 5 mile marker in there, create radius, and add my radius here. So I know that anything within this circle here is going to work for the 5 miles criteria from this search point. Again, I don't have any other criteria put in other than just 1 mile active from this location. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a second location. So this will be our fake second clinic. So I'm going to go ahead and add in another locate address. I'm going to do 6840 North 107th Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And as long as I put in the municipality and the state abbreviation, I do not need to add in the zip code. I'm going to click on my locate address to add my second stick pin. So from here, I'm going to do the same thing I did with that first circle on the bottom. I create radius, change that to 5 miles as well, and create my radius. So now that we have both of our circles, I know that anything in this bottom circle is going to be within the 5 miles of this location. Anything in this top circle is going to be within 5 miles of this location. But the only thing that's going to work for both is what's in this overlapping area here. And the system can automatically eliminate everything else for you other than this overlapping area. So on the left-hand side where we have our shapes, the default here is within. So it's only going to give us right now what's within both of those shapes. However, if I click on the within and change it to intersection, the system's going to think for a second, and it's going to give us just what's inside those intersecting shapes. So let's say I had a third location here and it was kind of just covering this area as well. It would eliminate everything else except what was in that third shape as well where the intersection was. So now we're down to 172 results. It's just giving us what's in that intersecting area. And again, if I went and set this up as a subscription email for my customer, the system is only going to send them what's within this physical overlapping location. Another situation you may have is actually wanting to eliminate certain areas from municipalities. I'm going to go ahead and click on my quick search again just to grab myself another clean map. So let's say I've got a customer that wants to be in Wauwatosa, but they don't want to live along the freeway. So I could go ahead and type in Wauwatosa. So right now I'm telling the system that I only want properties located in Wauwatosa, but I want to be able to remove these areas along the freeways here for us. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my polygon tool again and basically just trace my way around the freeway here. So let's say that looks good. I'm going to double click to tell the system that I'm done drawing. And again, the default for these shapes is within. So right now it's looking in Wauwatosa and it's only also looking inside of that polygon. But we wanted Wauwatosa not within inside of this shape. So again, the default was within. If I click it once, it changes it to intersection. If I click it another time, it changes it to not within. So now the system is looking at the municipality of Wauwatosa, but it's excluding this freeway area from our search results for us. And just like with the other shapes we drew out, I can go ahead and click on save and set a subscription email, and it's going to send them any results for Wauwatosa that is not within this matching area. Okay, there any questions on that before I kind of move forward? This is life-changing. Thank you, Naomi. I'm glad you're getting some good stuff out of this. Another thing I want to show you that is another really great way that you can utilize the system is using this quick search bar up here. A lot of people don't utilize this or don't really understand what it is. And this is the best multitasking tool imaginable for you in the system. So as you see right now, I've got a search, underway. I could be doing a CMA. I could, just be setting up a search for my customer. And I may get a phone call from someone asking questions about another property or starting up another search for someone. I can utilize this box up here, the enter an address, city, zip, MLS number, or contact to start a new search and actually open those up into a new window. So if I click inside of this box without typing anything, so again, we call this the quick launch bar. It gives me my last five searches that I did. So let's say I was doing a search and I accidentally closed something out. I can come back here and recover those drafts from here. It also gives me my last 3 searches that I did utilizing the quick launch history. So using the quick launch, I can go ahead, if I have an MLS number, I can just start typing in that MLS number that I'm looking for. And you'll see as I type that in, it narrows it down for me. So it's looking at, okay, there's an MLS number that matches this number. It also starts search template for me for single family, 2-family, and vacant land. And right now it's just kind of just guessing that this may be a list price. But let's say I just wanted to go ahead and take a look at this listing real quick. I could either select the listing just by clicking right on top of this, or if I go to the end of this row, it gives me this new tab option. And this is where I can actually go ahead and click on that new tab. It opens up right in this new window for me. I can let my customer know, what's going on with this property, send them the data sheet or whatever. And then when I'm done with that, I can go right back to what I was working on, and I'm not losing out on what I'm working on here. Okay. I also can if I want to search for an address, I can type in an address. And just like before, I can select right on top of the address, or I can click on that new tab to open that up into a new window for me. My favorite use of this, though, is I can actually start a full search for a property. So let's say I'm on the phone with someone and I'm having a conversation. Tell me about the house you're looking for, or if you're trying to do a CMA, tell me about your house. It's 3-bedroom, great. So let's do 3-4, and I can type out the word bedroom if I wanted to, or I could type in BD for bedroom. And you'll see as I start typing in, it's starting to autofill these in for me. So right now it's single family, 2-family, vacant land, and it's 3 to 4 bedroom. You don't have to use punctuation, but I like using the commas just so I can kind of break it apart in my mind in case I have to go back and make a change later on. So let's say 3 to 4 bedrooms, say 2 to 3 bathrooms. And again, I can type out the word bathroom, or I could just use BA. You'll notice that when I did bedrooms, I did not put a space in between. When I did bathrooms, I did. I did that just to show you it doesn't matter. The system doesn't care. It knows, it's smart enough to know what you're looking for. Okay, I'm gonna do a comma. Let's say I want to do 200 to 300,000. So I could again type out that full price range, or I could just the 200-300, put K to indicate the 1,000. You'll see it's filling in all that in that template for me. While I can't search on every option in the system, most of the main fields I'm going to be able to search on. One thing that's important to note is that when you're searching on municipality, and I'm going to use Whitefish Bay since Whitefish Bay has 2 parts to that municipality. If we're to type in Whitefish Bay, you'll see it tries its best, and it gives me municipalities of Whitefish Bay. It also is going to give me Bay City since Bay is included in that. If I wanted to indicate to the system that I want those to be part of one grouping, I could go ahead and just put those inside of quotation marks. And that tells the system that, yes, I want Whitefish Bay. Because I also could go ahead and add in another municipality. So if I wanted to add in Shorewood as well, I could type in Shorewood and it's going to add Shorewood. So let's say we're doing this as a CMA and I want just quick property results. I had to do this on the fly. I can just type in the word active, pending, and then if I want sold information, I can type in sold within last 30 days. And you'll see that it adds all that to my search criteria here for me. So from here, I can go ahead and use that new tab to pop it out into my new tab here. And right now, there's only 2 properties that match that criteria. One's in pending, one's in sold. What I like really about utilizing that new tab option is, okay, this probably isn't enough for me to do a CMA. I can go right back to that tab. Let's go ahead and make some changes to this. Let's say 350,000. Open it up in that new window again. I can keep just making minor tweaks to see what we actually end up getting here. So again, the defaults here are single family, 2-family, and vacant land. If I wanted to search for a condominium, all I have to do that is add the word condo. And now it's going to default to my condominium search template. Go back to my new tab. No listings found that match that criteria. Again, it would allow me to go back in and make those adjustments accordingly. Okay, any questions on that piece? Okay, we're getting towards our kind of arbitrary cutoff point, so we can make sure that we have questions, question period. One thing I want to point out to you that I find really, really useful, especially as you're working with your customers, is this opt-in status report. And if you're not sure how to add these options up here, this is another great time saver. If you go to menu and hover over any field that you're using a lot. So let's say I'm doing a lot with my contact summary. If I hover over that and I want to add that to my bar at the top, this little gray star appears here. I can just go ahead and click inside of that to add it to my favorites, and you'll see it added to my favorite bar at the top. If I want to reorder this bar, I can use this reorder on the right-hand side. I can click and hold and move that criteria around for me. If I didn't want this on that bar anymore, I can just click on remove. When I'm done with that, click on save, and my bar adjusted accordingly. But I would make sure this opt-in status report is part of your weekly life as an agent working with your customers. Reason for that is this opt-in status report is basically going to allow you to see at a glance what's going on with different contacts who may have subscription email set up. The reason I find this really important is when they're doing the subscriptions, they're opting in their email address, not an individual search. So you may have multiple searches set up for them, but the subscription only cares that they've opted in their email address. And this opt-in status report allows you to see at a glance what's going on with those opt-ins. So under our summary tab, you can see how many people do we have confirmed and how many have been confirmed in the last 7 days. Good to know, but not necessarily life-changing. These are the ones that kind of are really important for you. Opt-in statuses that will become inactive in the next 7 days. The reason that this is important is this basically means that they have not clicked on anything from you in the last 13 months. So they're probably not a very active buyer. Then down here, how many contacts email addresses are undeliverable? So you may have fat fingered something when you typed it in. So it just allows you to kind of see at a glance, okay, I have to go in and figure out what's wrong with this. These are the ones that are super, super important though. How many contacts have opt-in statuses that have been in the pending status for more than 7 days? So keep in mind, when you set up that subscription email for them, they're not going to get any results from you until they actually select that opt-in status saying, yes, I want to receive these emails from this mail server. So if you see anyone in here for more than that has been in pending for more than 7 days, it's a great opportunity for you to reach out to them. Hey, I see you haven't opted in to receive these emails yet. Just wanted to check with you to make sure you got that email and that you still want to receive these properties. And if the answer is yes, I definitely want to receive properties. If they don't see the email, you can go right back to contact management and resend them a one-time opt-in request again. And that's why I say make this part of your weekly routine. So let's say every Monday morning you come in, since these are based upon 7-day periods. Opt-in statuses that become inactive in the last 7 days. This basically indicates that they've opted out of receiving those emails. It's quite possible that if you have a customer set up on multiple emails, so let's say single family and condominiums, and if you're like me and you just hate doing snow and mowing your lawn, you may suddenly say, I don't want that single family anymore. So they may think, okay, if I opt out of this, I'm not going to get these single family properties anymore. But keep in mind what they're actually doing is opting out of receiving any emails from you. So if I see a customer in here that's opted out in the last 7 days, again, great opportunity for me to get in touch with that buyer. Hey, I see you opted out of receiving these subscription emails. Were you trying to get rid of everything, or were you just trying to get rid of one of the searches? And if they were just trying to get rid of one of the searches, great. Send them the opt-in status request. Again, they can opt in, and you, as the agent, can go ahead and remove that. And then how many have opted? I'm sorry, that was inactive. And then yeah, the opted out is here. So again, I would just make this part of my weekly routine, just to kind of keep it in front of myself, in order to, see what's going on with my customers. Okay, last thing I wanted to show you is Monsoon. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on my Monsoon. I don't know if I reset my preferences from the last time I was in here demonstrating. I did not. So I'm just gonna go ahead and reset these to default statuses. So Monsoon is our new tax platform that utilizes the same information that you would have available to you in wire data. It's just presented in a different way. So there's 3 main ways that you can search in Monsoon. And they're very similar ways as you would inside of Flex. The first is at the top here, this owner, address, MLS number, or tax key. This works just like we were using the quick launch bar. Sorry, my little drop down came. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna type in, I can type in a name, a property address, tax key number. So I'm just gonna use myself. I'm gonna type in the word Jamrosie. And then from here, it gives me all of my options. So in the state of Wisconsin, there are 14 property owners with the last name of Jamrosie. The default is cards. So basically, this is the card view. So it gives us the property picture from the last time it sold in MLS. It gives us the owner's name, what it sold for last time, when it was sold, property address, and then it gives us a link to the tax information. If I click on rows, it just changes the view to a rows view. Okay. Last option up here is map. It's basically just going to put these onto a map for me. So I'm just going to go back to cards. And this is my property. You all have my address now. If you stop by, bring a bottle of Jack Daniels with you. Otherwise, I'm not going to answer the door. So I can go ahead and click on my tax key number here. And it's going to take me to the tax sheet for the property. So again, this has the same tax information as wire data does, but it has a couple of additional features that I find really kind of cool and useful. So it does have a map here for me, and I can toggle on to see sold information around our subject property for the last 3 months, 6 months, or the last year. I can also download this map as its own thing. So you'll see we do have our property information here, which we're used to seeing, area information, our land information. It does break it down by acres as well as square footage for the lot itself. Gives us our structure information, deed history, assessment value, tax history, and then also FEMA flood zone information. It also does give us a loan history for this property. I'm assuming this is my second mortgage. I wish my first mortgage was only $33,000, but the thing I really like about these reports is right here under area information, there's a demographics option. I find these reports to be really great when you're working with a customer that may be new to a certain area and may not know what's really going on with that area. So if I click on demographics, it's going to open this report for me. So it's basically looking at the demographics for the municipality of Grafton. So it gives us our estimated population, gives us our median age, number of households, all that information. And this information does come from the census. I have had people, question about giving out some of this information, but it is public record information. It is from the census. So it's not steering or anything like that. This gives us housing information, quality of life information, household income. But this is the part I really like. In most cases, it's going to give us options for what there is to do in that area. So it shows us, okay, you're new to an area, great. So this is the distance from our subject property. These are different places to go, get a drink, grab something for dinner, the address of the property, and then the description. So if you have a customer that's looking in several different areas, I would print out, a report like this for each of those areas for them. They may kind of help them make a decision one way or the other based upon what there is to do. So just be mindful that that report is there. Again, that was right under area information and then demographics. So that was the first way to search, was utilizing this quick launch tool. We go back and click on Monsoon, and I'm going to click on tax search. So this allows us to search on tax information. So if I wanted to, I can select my municipalities and counties here. I'm going to go ahead and reset my counties just so you can see what that looks like. So from here, I can go ahead and select up to 10 counties and then have them saved if I wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to add in Ozaki again. I can go ahead and select the individual municipality, or I can go ahead and search all municipalities within this county. I can add another county to that. So I'll go ahead and add in Milwaukee. I'm just going to search all municipalities as well. So I can go ahead and add up to 10 of these in here. When I'm happy with that, I'm going to click on Save Selection. Then from here, it gives me the options, the tax options that I can search on. At the very bottom here, I got this Add, Modify, Reorder fields. If I click on that, I can add additional criteria to that search. And if I wanted to, I could go ahead and click on all of these options, click on Save, and just always have them open for me if I wanted to. From within that modify, I can go ahead and change the order of these if I wanted to as well. The great thing about utilizing this tax search is if you're trying to set up a farm area for mailers, if I go to map, I can actually utilize these drawing tools to define the area that I want to utilize for my farm area. So I'm going to go ahead and just go to Grafton here. Sorry, I live in Grafton. I use this as my example. So this is the area I live in. So let's say I get a brand new listing in this area, and I want to send out a mailer just to this area. So at the very top here, we've got our hand, which allows us to move our map around, just like we saw inside of Flex. Circle draws a circle, rectangle draws a rectangle. Draw a shape is the equivalent of the polygon tool. So that's the one we're going to utilize to draw out our area. I'm going to go ahead and click on my starting point. And just like inside of Flex, I'm going to take my finger off my mouse button, drag it up to my next spot, click, and just keep clicking my way around my shape. When I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and just bring my cursor back to my starting point. You'll see it goes from that kind of plus sign to that little hand again. I'm just going to click on that starting point to tell the system that I'm done. Brings over here, it says map search, and it shows my polygon. You'll notice that I don't have any results. Reason for that is inside of Monsoon, I have to click on search in order for it to search, where inside of Flex, you add a criteria, it just automatically starts doing it for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on search. And now you'll see I've got 695 results within this area. And as I zoom in, it starts breaking these numbers apart for me, and it starts showing kind of what the assessed value is for these different properties. So let's say I want to go ahead and do a mailer to this. This is my new farm area. I've got two options at the top here. I've got export, and you can select whatever pieces you want and create your export and create your own labels as a CSV file. Or you can click on labels and just tell the system, okay, I want to use the property address with the owner's name. I'm using Avery 5160 for my label type. I want to go ahead, create my PDF. Open that up, put my labels in, hit print, and that's going to print all my labels for me. I also can go ahead and save this right away. So instead of having to go in and redefining this area every time, if I wanted to keep using that, I can click on save, give it a name, Keller Williams Avenues test, and click on save. So now these are all different saves that I have for my different farm areas. So if I wanted to access those at a later point, I can just go back to my Monsoon, click on tax search, and we have new, recent, saved, and favorites. I'm just going to click on my saved, go to the one we just created, which was my KW Avenues test. Click on that. It's going to open it up. I'm just going to use my little right arrow here. It's just going to take that information, move over to the right-hand side for me. I can go right back to create my labels again. So basically, the last way to search inside of Monsoon is the same way. is the MLS search. Works the exact same way as the tax search. The one feature that this is missing that I have requested, actually, you'll see it's gone from the top here. The option to export or create mailing labels. I feel like that's really important since searching in the MLS, we have the options for bedrooms and bathrooms. So if you're trying to target and market this, to 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes in a certain area, right now the system does not allow you to do that. So I have requested that update. The question came in from Naomi. This is being recorded. Will we have access to the recording? I'm assuming Julia will have this posted somewhere for you guys. Yes, Naomi, it'll be on YouTube. All right, YouTube famous. So the last option in Monsoon here that I wanted to show you guys was preferences. So within preferences, it allows you to customize how these look and feel. So the default is going to be this Monsoon blue, but I can change it to jet green, hot pink. I believe Keller Williams does a lot of red. So if you wanted to utilize red, we'll just keep it right there, and I'll use save theme. It also allows me to change how these reports look. So if I wanted to get rid of that loan information, I don't feel that's necessary to have on that report, I can click on hide, and it's going to remove that from my report. Let's say I wanted the tax information at the top. I can click and hold, drag that up to the top, and that's where it will be for me. I'm going to go ahead and just click on save layout. So now when I go back to a report, you'll see that it's using that red color. My assessment history is at the top, and that loan history is now gone. Okay. Last thing on the homepage, we also have Monsoon Training on here. So we do have a series of videos for you with kind of quick little tests afterwards. And yes, Bethany, I know I threw a lot at you guys today. Keep in mind too, that a lot of this information is going to be available for you on our homepage. So this is metromls.com. Under support, we do have Mls Manuals. These are paper copies on how to do everything. So if you like to read and then do, it's a great option for you. Also under learning, we have this video library. So these are just videos, again, on how to do everything in the system. So if you like to be able to watch and then pause and do, another great option for you. Under classes, back in a pre-COVID world, and hopefully we will be getting back to in-person live classes at my office at some point this year. We're not there yet. But under those class schedule, anything that has a webinar, these are live webinars. So if you want to take a review of this maps class that we went through at the beginning, they go in a little bit more depth than I do. You'll see it's an hour and a half versus the half hour that I put towards it. You can go ahead and click on that, sign up for it. Anything that has a video library, these are actual pre-recorded ones, so you can watch these at any point in time. Last thing I wanted to point out to you actually is under this MLS option for you. Under MLS, we do have this member toolkit. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. In listing resources, we've basically gone through and kind of taken out a lot of our policies and put them into more bite-sized pieces for you. So instead of having to go through the whole policy and procedures manual and try to figure things out, these again are more digestible. So address formatting abbreviation guide. If I click on that, it's going to tell me everything I need to know about addresses and abbreviations of addresses and how to enter those into the MLS. So these are great, quick little guides for you and to help you avoid sanctions inside of the MLS. So just keep in mind that all these tools are here and available for you. We as Metro MLS staff are here for you. So anytime we can be of help, give us a call, reach out to us. You can talk to anyone in our support team. So if you're going through and you don't remember how to do something or something seems like it's not working right, give them a call. They'll sit on the phone and walk you through everything. If you have any questions for our admin staff with policy procedures, contact them. If you want to contact me directly, you're more than welcome to as well. You can get any of us by 414-778-5400. Or if you want to shoot me an email, it's just Jarrod, J-A-R-E-D, @metromls.com. So that is everything I have. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. We're at the top of the hour here. Naomi, I'm glad that you feel like it's magic. Use it well. So if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. Otherwise, I'll turn it back over.
Any questions?
No, but it was
the quick-
awesome.
I'll ask a quick
Good, I'm
one.
glad you enjoyed it.
Here's a quick one. If you mess up on an overlay, can you delete it?
Yep, absolutely. So let me just go back to share real quick. I always have so many screens open, that's kind of difficult to find. There we go. So let me go. So if I go to menu, everyone can see my flex screen again, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So if I go down to preferences, under my map, excuse me, my map overlays, if I click on that, it's going to give me all my overlay options here. So let's say I didn't want this one anymore. I can highlight it and just click on remove. It's going to ask me, you sure you want to get rid of it? Click on remove, and it gets rid of it for me. If I click inside of here, and let's say I want to remove one of these, I could go ahead and get rid of my Smith research. Click on save, and then save it as an existing. Yes, and it's going to get rid of that one piece for me. The other thing I just want to mention in here is if you have someone in your office that has gone through and drawn these shapes out and is nice enough to share these with you, so you go to my map overlays. Again, my Milwaukee area neighborhoods file is massive. I've got 127 shapes in here. And let's say someone just wanted a carbon copy of this. I can select my map overlay, give it to someone, type the name of the person in my office, and then give them a carbon copy of it just by selecting give. They'll have a copy of it, and then you'll have a copy of it as well.
So are you sending those shapes out then in an email?
Unfortunately, you're not a member of my office, otherwise I would. All right, anything else?
This was awesome though. Thank you so
Good.
much.
You're very welcome.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jarrod.
You're
We really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you guys later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.